Three of them I'd never even heard of, the one acts that we're doing, which are The Case of the Crushed Petunias, Summer at the Lake, and A Perfect Analysis Given by a Parrot, which is as fun as it sounds. And we're doing those in Repertory with full-length play, Small Craft Warnings. Small Craft Warnings is a play that started off as one of his one act, actually, called Confessional. It centers on an incredibly, how do I describe her, abrasive young woman named Leona Dawson. If you imagine a tornado in the middle of Kansas, and if you poured 80 million gallons of Jack Daniels into the top of the tornado, that's sort of Leona Dawson. It is the anniversary of the day that her brother died, and she's in this bar to drink her troubles away. She's got a live-in lover who is sort of way out of her league, but he sort of, his MO is to go from place to place and find whatever woman will pay his food and board. And that relationship is now dissolving after about 6 months. And she's decided to move on. And so this is sort of her last chance to make her peace with all the patrons of the bar. A Perfect Analysis Given by a Parrot is a really sort of fun play, which is not a word I get to use much when talking about the Williams canon. It's about two women who are nearing 40 and are incredibly self-delusional, like all characters in Williams. They're past their prime, just by a bit, just enough. And they think they look and sound a lot more attractive than they actually are. And so the audience sort of gets to watch them in their state of trying to pick up men around town. And they've had a bad day. They've not been able to pick anyone up. And now they've come to a bar to discuss the reasons that may have gone into their failure at finding love this time around on their visit. They end up tearing each other apart. The next play that we're doing then is called Summer at the Lake, which is depressing is an understatement. It centers on a family called the Fenways. The mother, Mrs. Fenway, is particularly stressed. She's recently separated from her husband, and she's unhappy with the choices, or the lack of choices, that her son seems to be making. Also inhabiting the house is a servant well into her 70s or 80s who has long since given up on any happiness in life. And so these three characters are all confined into a very, very hot summer house, sort of like Long Day's Journey into Night, except about 5 hours shorter. We sort of have to figure out why the husband and wife separated. We're going to find out maybe what it is about the son that is driving him to make a major decision by the end of the play. And if any of these people will ever find happiness. Anyhow, that's so depressing. So we want to move into the final phase of the one act, which is called The Case of the Crushed Petunias. It's certainly the most experimental of the ones that we're doing. All we know is that it centers around a young woman named Dorothy Simple. And she has a store in which she sells notions. The night before, she had a double row of petunias that were crushed. And so the play is sort of a mystery, first to find out who crushed them, these poor, poor petunias. And once we find out, Dorothy encounters a young man who comes into her store and has many things to say about her crushed petunias and why they were crushed and what she can do about it, what she should possibly do about it. And he makes her a very, very interesting offer. And it could be leading her to a very new place.